These are tough times across our country. Banks aren't lending money. People are out of work, and citizens are worried about their futures. Two guys decide to go into business for themselves. Let's call them Jim and Bill. Against all odds, Jim and Bill invest their wisdom, their time, and their money, and they built a company. Now, they probably had all kinds of people telling them, now is not the right time. You can't start a company in these economic times. And if those two men had listened to the naysayers, Cincinnati would not be home to the largest consumer products company in the world, Procter & Gamble. You know, times may be tough right now, but that doesn't mean that we stop. That doesn't mean we give up. That means we fight even harder. When we are facing some of the challenges that we face today, we have to be reminded that Jim and Bill probably faced some of those same challenges in 1837. And I'm sure they heard plenty of the same negative things about what they were doing. Now's not the time. They say the same thing today. The naysayers keep saying that we need to slow down, that we need to pull back, that it's not the right time. You know, people use the phrase "in these economic times" as an excuse to pull back, as a reason not to do things. But you know what? They have it backwards. In these economic times, that's when you put money into things that you know are going to grow your economy. In these economic times, we need to be bold when others are scared. That's how you prosper. And that's exactly how the city of Cincinnati has grown over the years. You know, throughout our history, there have been people and there have been organizations and there have been leaders who pushed forward. They've made gains even in tough economic times. Now, I have that same philosophy, and I get that from my parents. They're here tonight. And if you tell either my mother or my father that they can't get something done, they're going to fight you that much harder. So it comes down to what you want to focus on. Now, I can stand here and give you a laundry list of all the things that we shouldn't be doing, all of the things that shouldn't be happening right now, but that's not what I do. That's not who I am. And that's not the history of our great city. So you're never going to come to a State of the City address that I give and be subjected to 45 minutes of negative energy. Instead, you're going to be reminded about the times when Cincinnati persevered, because we must persevere through hard times. You know, it's real easy to get people to invest when you have a bunch of money. And it's easy to encourage people to do things when the economy is up. But in the down times, that's when things get tough. But as I've said before, I'm going to say it again, it's not about how tough the times are. It's what you do in those times.